Hello there, guys and girls. Thank you for watching. Today I want to talk about durable gear items, specifically items that I have used in my travels over the past 2 years that have really stood up and really exceeded my expectations as far as their durability. I'm going to talk about 3 of them. Three. What's with 3? Everybody wants to do 3 items, 3 reasons, 3 seasons, the big 3, 3 luxury items, which was a lot of fun doing that. Why can't we just use 2? I guess that's too little. Use 4? I guess that's just too much. Or how about a few? That's just semantics. Did I just say semantics? Anyway, I'm going to stick with 3. It seems to work out well with us. So let's get into it, and I'm going to start with number 1. Okay, the first item I want to show you are my Cascade, you can see that, Cascade mountain trekking poles. I really like these trekking poles. They're made of carbon fiber. They have cork handles with adjustable hand straps. They have tungsten tips. They also have the quick release snap, 2 of them, and the tension adjusters on the quick release. These go from a 26, you can go from as low as 26 inches to 54 inches, and I think that equates in centimeters from, like, I don't know, 100 centimeters up to 135 centimeters anyway. That's more than enough length for most people, or short enough for most people, and the perfect length also if you're using them for a trekking pole tent or shelter situation. These trekking poles have gone through hell with me. I have used them on over 10 trips, especially on the John Muir Trail. When I did the John Muir Trail, anybody who's been out in the Sierras knows that a lot of rocks, the terrain is just horrible on your equipment, especially when I was going over Forester Pass. Well, I got about a half a mile to go to get up there. This is the path. Going up Forester Pass, one of these trekking poles actually got wedged in between a rock, and I fell forward, and I didn't even crack. The thing didn't break. Luckily it didn't break anyway, and luckily I didn't fall in Forester Pass. But it just gives you an example of that. Down here in Florida, I used them on the Florida Trail, and across the water crossing and marshes you have those man-made walkway. With the separated planks in them where you can get your trekking poles caught in that, or the mesh screen above it. I also, when I'm ascending a mountain, and I tend to stop to catch my breath, I'll take these trekking poles and I'll lean on them and I'll put all my weight on them, and they've held up real well with me. And going down, descending a mountain, I'll take and put the straps around, and I'll hold them out in front of me to slow down the impact it has on my knees and that, and I've used them for that. You can't beat them. They're a little bit heavier than your a lot of your trekking poles that are on the market, but I've never really noticed them. They come in a little bit under 16 ounces for the pair. Other trekking poles are probably anywhere from 10 up to 16 also. The price is fantastic. I've seen them as low as $35 a pair, up to $40 a pair on Amazon, or I think at Costco's that started all this. Other than that, I don't know what to say. They're absolutely a great set of trekking poles, and I highly recommend them. I think that it'd be a really good addition to anybody who wants to get out there and start, even people that are having a problem finding the right trekking pole. So this is an inexpensive item. It's a very durable item, and it was one of my top ones on my list. So let's get into number 2. Number 2 on my list is my MSR Pocket Rocket. Now, this stove isn't the least expensive. A lot of people are sold on that BSR, is it? Yeah, the BRS stove, which comes in, I think you can buy that for around $15. This will cost you around $40, $44. But I found that this has been very durable, very durable. I also know that the flame circumference and the amount of equal flame on all sides of this seems to work better than the BRS, but everybody loves that other stove, and I'm not knocking it. It's a great price. It's a smaller, it's lighter, but for me, this particular one has worked real well.
This is my rifle. There are many like it, but this one is mine.
It's held up. And out on, again, I'm going to use the JMT as an example because of the fire bans out there. I had to cook on this 2 times a day and boil water and pretty much to prepare all my meals for this. This pocket rocket, there's a couple little items on it. I guess the most vulnerable part is this little part up here, but it's been working real well. I had to, these arms on it here were starting to squeak a little bit. I had to put a little WD-40 on it. There's also a little screw right there. There's one on each side. It's a little Phillips head screw that every once in a while you got to keep that tightened down, because if that would ever to fall out, I think that this particular bottom part here, you'd have a problem. You wouldn't be able to use the stove. So keep an eye on that. But other than that, this comes in at about 2.6 ounces. It's very economical on the fuel canister. A couple Starbucks. Get a lot of uses out of the smaller canister with this, and so I really enjoy this. It came with a little plastic case. Basically, I wrap it up in my, fold it all up, wrap it up in my little head bandana there, and I shove it into my Toaks pot. And it's got wet, it's got soaked. Matter of fact, I dropped it in a stream once. It's just been holding up real well. I do recommend these. They've been around for a long time, and it's an excellent stove. Again, like I said, it's a little bit more money than your other stoves that are out there. A lot of people like to use different ways to cook their meals, but for me, this MSR Pocket Rocket, that's the deal for me. So I like using this, and I'm going to continue using it until it breaks on me, and I'll probably just buy another one. So now let's get into the third and final item. So last but not least, the third item in my durable gear is my Lanshan 2 3F UL Gear 10. When I purchased this, my intentions were, well, this is coming from China. It's probably going to last me, a little bit. I'm probably going to have problems with it. Again, I put this thing through hell. At the end of the day, when I'm packing up, I just stuff it in a stuff sack. It's been totally waterproof. It's held up to the winds. It's the bathtub is held up. The material, the stitching, everything is held up. I'm not going to do a review on this tent. I've done 2 reviews on this tent recently, and since then I've had over 16,000 views looking at this tent. So there's people interested in it, and there's a lot of people that have this tent. So I'm not going to do a review on it, but I do want to go over a few things on it that I want to show you that I have learned with this tent. First of all, I pretty much can put this thing up in my sleep right now. I've done it so many times. I'm going to show you some important things. First of all, I set my trekking poles seem to be perfect at like in between 120 and 125 centimeters, which relates to 48 inches. The other important thing when you're setting up this tent is to make sure you have the trekking pole on the outside of the mesh part of the tent and on the inside of the vestibule area. Another important thing is down here there's a loop. This loop can pull this out, and it makes that floor in there really taut and tight with no creases in it. Now you have one of these on both sides, and it keeps the floor high. The amount of height on it increases when you put that in there and pull it apart. So the other thing I want to show you is when you're setting up this tent, it seems to work best when you stake it out at 45 degrees and make sure that these rubber inserts from underneath the mesh tent part are coming out nice and taut. You can adjust them, and you can also adjust the, I guess you would call it the fly of the tent. Now I've used 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shepherd hooks. The ground I'm using right now is pretty good for shepherd hooks. If it wasn't, I would probably use some other stake that would hold better, or have to, even like I did out west in the Sierras, I had to put rocks on it. There's a lot of questions and people that are asking, well, I'm 6'3", 6'4", would I fit? Well, I'm 6'2.5", and I fit in here, and I'll show you the reason why. It's not the distance from end to end, because I'm pretty sure that's either 82 or 84 inches. What makes the big difference, if I can get here and show you, is this mesh screening area. And what will happen is this will come down. Let me see if I can get in here and demonstrate. Okay, this is a full length now. I have a cap on. Of course, I would have my Thermarest Neoware in here too, and a pillow. So right now, my head's not hitting this. I even have, if I was 6'4", I could probably do it too. That would be the limit. 6'3" would be perfect. 6'2.5", it's fine with me. My feet are all the way down to the end, and I'll show you how I kept this mesh portion, not just from the tie out on the side, but this tie out right here and that tie out down there. You can use them, but it really doesn't pull the screen up. So let me show you how I do that. And while I'm in here, these two clips, love them. This clip, I put a line from that clip over to that clip, and I can hang things here. I love the two pockets. And so let me go outside and show you how I fix to keep that mesh screen off the top of my head. As you can see, there's a tie out there on the side, and there's a tie out on this side. Now the tie out alone does not pull that mesh screening up totally. You could actually tie it to a tree or to a branch, and that would work. But what I picked up was, I got this from, and let me take it out of here. You can see how I put it up and pull and raise this netting off me. But what this basically is a little fishing pole holder. This weighs nothing. I think it's like point something of an ounce, but it does telescope out to very long, and you can use it at any height you want, and it has a nice pointy tip at the end, and of course it has where you can stick it up underneath your side tie out on your tent to keep that off. I carry this with me. You could use a stick, but coming in at night, I don't want to run around, look for a perfect stick, cut up some stick and use it. This is here, like I said, it's light, fits right in with my tent stakes, and this works perfect. So I really don't think you could go wrong. You can purchase this tent, have it shipped to you in 2 weeks from China. It's like little over $100 with shipping and everything. And God, anyway, that is my three durable items. These three just stood out for me, like I could count on them. And so anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching. Keep following Walker's World, but go ahead and hit that share, like, notification bell, and don't forget my prescriptions. Did I say prescriptions? What the hell is wrong with you? My subscriptions. I think I need a prescription. I think my subscriptions, well anyway, my subscriptions are free, and please subscribe. I got some great things coming up, and again, thank you for watching, following Walker's World. You guys have a great day. Bye.